Hello everybody, welcome to another Fungi on the Fly episode, and in today's episode we're going to learn how to tie a soft hackle fly, and this is going to be a very special one. I also want to give you guys an update on how the season kind of ended for me last year in 2024 regarding grouse hunting and what I have to look forward to here in 2025. So, as a lot of you have followed along and noticed that I started something new last year, which was grouse hunting with a bow and arrow. And I want to let you guys know that I did not successfully harvest a grouse. I'm missing grouse quite a bit. Oh, way high. Missed all 3 times. I had a lot of opportunities. I took a lot of shots on grouse, and most of the time I missed them, figuring out different arrows, different fletchings, flu arrows, figuring out different types of the point to put on there, from the field point to a judo tip to a broadhead is what I eventually landed on. And a lot of you guys saw this video where I talked about how I actually hit a grouse with the arrow, and the grouse flew away with my arrow inside its body. Hit it in the road. Oh my goodness, there's the arrow in that bird. And I never recovered the grouse. I searched high and low for it, and I gridded for a long time and never ended up finding that grouse. But I was able to harvest some feathers from that grouse. So here are some of the body feathers that I got from that grouse, and here are some of the tail feathers from that grouse. I put it up here on the wall to kind of honor it. I know that grouse died, and it's just sad that I wasn't able to recover that. So I do want to use these feathers today to tie this soft hackle fly. But before I get started using these, I only have a few of them, so this will be very special to do. But before I totally get into that, I want to give you guys an update on what's going to happen in 2025 this year. So in addition to my normal fly fishing and backpacking and mushroom foraging, which is what I love to do, what I've been doing for many years, I'm going to start something brand new this year. And I'm going to continue the hunting journey, but I'm going to go after spring turkey this year with a shotgun. This is brand new to me, and I've been doing a lot of research and looking into calls, looking into the gear that I need, and just doing my research, doing my legwork ahead of time. So I look forward to sharing that journey with you guys. If that's something you're interested in, that's awesome. Please let me know. And if that's not what you're interested in at all, just know that my channel will still mostly be about fishing and mushroom foraging. But know that there will be a component of hunting in the future. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. So without further ado, since I've been out shed hunting lately, didn't find any sheds. Well, no sheds. It's super rainy. Not a great opportunity for me to do a lot of fishing right now. So I'm going to have a shed day and do some fly tying. So let me tell you what you're going to need to tie this pattern with me. You're going to need some nymph hooks, and I'm using these really heavily weighted nymph hooks. You can use a variety of different kind. This is going to be a size 12 TMC nymph hook that's 2x heavy and 1x long. Going to be using some green waxed floss. Feel free to use a different color if you want. And for the body of this fly, I'm going to be using some peacock curl. So if you have some peacock feathers, go ahead and get that out. And if you don't, maybe you just have some dubbing. You could just use some dubbing, or you could just use bare thread. Okay, there's a lot of different ways. No need to get too crazy with this soft hackle fly. The main component of it is the feather, the soft hackle feather. So these are my grouse feathers that I have. So let's get prepped. First thing you're going to want to do is I always like to pinch my barbs first, so I'm going to pinch the barb. Then I'm going to put the hook on the vise. There it is. Go ahead and get your thread and give it some wraps to get it started. I start at the eye of the hook and work all the way down to the hook bend. Trim off the tail. Next step, we're gonna take our peacock herl, and I'm been using this feather for a long time. If you're down here at the base, you can use any part of this feather. So you can use these base parts, that's totally good. They're a little thicker and better, honestly. But I wanna use all parts of this feather. I'm gonna go ahead and use this one and pull off one peacock fiber. Give it a little snip at the base. And these are really brittle. So I'm actually just gonna break off the super tip, the super fine tip of that, because it's just so brittle, it's gonna break off anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and tie this in. So I'm gonna just go straight along the shank of the hook, wrap my thread all the way around it, working the way up towards the eye. And now I'm gonna take that peacock herl and wrap it forward towards the eye of the hook. So it's down there at the hook bend, and I'm gonna keep wrapping this all the way forward towards the eye of the hook. However many turns it takes to get there. And I don't need to go all the way to the eye of it. I'm gonna end it about a, I don't know, 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch before I get to the eye of the hook to give me room for my hackle. All right, clean that up. Great. Now we're gonna prep our hackle feather. So all this super duper downy fluffy stuff, that makes great pillows, but we're not gonna use it for this fly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and strip it off. Put it to the side. Okay. All right, so now I'm left with this great little stem with just this tiny bit of feather up at the front. That's what we're gonna use. So now I'm gonna hold at the tip of this feather and pull the rest of the feathers kind of down. And keep working on that till I just have a tiny little bit at the tip to tie in. We don't need a lot up there. There we go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tie in this little bit of feather. I'm actually gonna just snip off. This is just a little too much at the tip, so we're gonna just snip off a little bit of it, leaving enough to tie in just a few thread wraps. There we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull all of these fibers back towards the hook bend. And we're gonna start wrapping our hackle about 2 to 3, at the most 4 wraps. That was about 1 wrap, pulling those fibers backwards. Okay. Give it 1 more wrap. Very good. Now we're going to carefully separate some of these fibers to tie it off. Pulling those fibers back towards the hook bend. There we go, and you could kind of see I made a split there. Perfect place to tie around there. Working towards the eye, and now we can cut off this little bit carefully. There it is. And now we'll just clean it up with a couple more thread wraps. And now the whip finishing tool to just give that a quick whip finish. Do about 3 turns and 1 more of about 3 turns. cut off our thread, and it's done. I personally like to finish it with just a tiny dab of super glue right where I finish tying it in, just to really lock it in. Okay. There it is. Perfect little grouse soft hackle fly. This is best fished under a dry fly or under an indicator. This is pretty much a wet fly, so it's going to be submerged in the water, and it imitates maybe a mayfly that's emerging to the surface of the water getting ready to hatch. Maybe a caddisfly coming up to the surface of the water getting ready to hatch. Or who knows, but it's definitely something that fish enjoy eating, especially on the swing. You can have your fly do its drift down, just a perfect dead drift, and then at the end, if you get no takes, just let it hang down, let it swing down, and that fly is going to go deep and slowly make its way towards the surface. And that rising action can trigger a lot of strikes from fish. So happy fishing to everybody. Happy foraging and hunting. It's the winter time, so we're all still just getting ready for all of our trips in the future. And I wish everybody a happy day. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next video.